Well, Mr. President, you had previously said that you thought that you would have won. Since then, Donald Trump won all the battleground states and made inroads with almost every major demographic, from working class voters to Hispanic men to black men. Knowing what you know now, do you think you would have beat him? Yeah, he still got 7 million fewer votes. Yes. There you go. Okay. A lot of people didn't show up. Number one. Number two, they're very close in those toss-up states. It was it wasn't a slam dunk, and so look, every time I've been on the show, which I've been fortunate to be on more than once. Thanks for having me. Is that we talk? You guys don't focus on as much, and I think it's good on polling numbers. But let me put it this way: he's had the worst 100 days any president's ever had. Yeah, that's a fact.
Can we just say we just played a little bite of the Biden interview? Is this making you as crazy as it's making me that nothing Trump says makes any sense? No. On any level anymore. And I thought President Biden sounded completely coherent whenever, and Bella made a great point.
When a couple months ago when Biden was on Howard Stern and they had their interview a couple weeks after, I was filling in for someone on the Howard Stern team, and they were all talking about how Biden was very sharp when he came in and he met everyone, he introduced himself, and they had a great conversation before and after, and it was a very pleasant experience, and he was completely coherent.
Do you remember that was a great interview? And Howard Stern's a tough interviewer. He's not a softball interview. I mean, it just... Dana, I think it's just where we are in 100 days is so stunning. And it's just, play that again. It's just him sort of stating the obvious in this interview. I watched a little bit of it.
When did government get to tell you how many dolls your child has? I mean, this was my whole point about this. Government.
I'm talking about Biden.
Biden.
Yeah,
I was like, Biden sounds exactly like
Tim Walz. That's a good impression. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's the Gulf of America. Maybe we're going to have to take back Panama. Maybe we need to acquire Greenland. Maybe Canada should be. What the hell's going on here? What president ever talks like that? That's not who we are.
God, it's just, it was 100 days ago that we had a decent human as president. It's so distressing.
Very decent, yeah.
What the hell's going on?
We did.
Here?
We had a decent human that, wasn't trying to wreck our democracy and actually cared about the LGBTQ community and black people and women and was trying to do something good in this world.
You know who I blame for killing our democracy? And that'd be Chris and Bella, because they both just confessed that they like reality TV, and that's why we are where we are.
I love it.
Because
then I'm going to hell with them, because Love on the Spectrum, season 3 is one of my favorite seasons.
It's so good.
You're the only one who doesn't like
Connor.
We were just saying, Chris and I were saying, as people in the audio business for a long time, he sounds old. His voice sounds old. It's gotten, but it's just, here we are, where we are in this just Armageddon of every kind, financial, physical, emotional, because of this lunatic that we put back in the, what did, like Nicole Wallace always says it, we put a felon back in office because eggs were too expensive, and now they're even more expensive, and there's a felon that is committing crimes daily in the Oval Office.
I know you probably covered it, but that the meeting with the leader of Canada, it's so beautiful to watch people look at him right in the face and say, no.
Right.
No.
He looked humiliated.
You said Canada's not for sale ever, and you saw Trump's face. It made me want to send rape whistles to Canada, because Trump doesn't like being told no.
Right. Yeah, that's what he said. Never say never. I know, so rapey, everything he says. And then we were talking about Carney turning to the camera and mouthing, never.
Never. Exactly.
The way he kept a straight face when Trump was talking about a BS number of $200 billion that has nothing to do with anything he said of subsidies, excuse me. Yeah. If he'd be able to keep that sort of restraint and patience, good for him. Yeah. Good for him.
I know. Bella and I were talking about it's like men never give up. No. Just right. I don't know how many men. There's actually guy friends I have for 30 years. They still think. They don't, They don't hear gay. They're like,
was gonna say,
never say never.
When was the last time a man even gave up on you?
What?
Tried to.
I was like,
trust
Sean?
me, there's men I know.
Okay.
Still think.
All right.
Just the right lighting.
Ella, thanks for laughing at that.
That was funny.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Give me some Jasmine Crockett 12. I was just saying, Dana, I knew you would love this. This is such a perfect way to frame
Are we playing
the
trans with Trump?
transition. Yes, to frame the
Yes.
trans issue. Here we go.
I want to play a game. It's called Trump or Trans. You ready?
Okay.
So I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to tell me whether or not it is Trump or trans people that are responsible. You understand?
Got it.
Okay, very good. The first one, gutted medical research.
Trump.
Kidnapping Americans and sending them to foreign countries, a.k.a. deporting them.
Trump.
Driving us into a recession.
Trump.
Increasing the cost of everything.
Trump.
Waging an idiotic tariff war.
Trump.
Harming farmers.
Trump.
Thank you so much. This committee could be engaged in actual oversight of fraud, waste, abuse, and mismanagement. So let's talk about waste. Like Trump's plan to spend almost $100 million for his little birthday parade.
I mean,
his little
it's
birthday
so
parade.
brilliant a way to say, if you voted on this issue, this is all of the carnage that you got. If you thought
Absolutely.
this was what was important, I mean, I love when Dana went, yeah, are we playing Trump or trans? It's like I just gave you a Candyland game.
Yeah, it was so fun to watch. Jasmine Crockett's incredible. Dallas, Texas
Yeah.
has a wonderful representative. And, the other people are pushing back now against Marjorie Taylor Greene. They're really starting to publicly say, what is your fascination with the trans community? Make them say it on record in Congress because they can't. They sound like idiots.
Right. But it is a way of reframing this issue without throwing trans people under the bus, to talk about what's
100%.
really important and what you should have voted for in this election. And we were saying another one, Representative Greg Cesar of Texas, also yesterday.
I've knocked on thousands of doors and talked to thousands of Republican, Independent, and Democratic voters in my career. And not a single time has someone flung open their door and said, thank God you're here, Congressman. I want to ask you about transgender people fencing. What the hell are we doing here? We're here because Chairwoman Marjorie Taylor Greene thinks that if she picks on vulnerable people, like trans folks, she can avoid having a discussion about the allegations of insider trading against her.
Oh, yeah.
That's how you do it.
Yeah.
That is absolutely
Gavin
how you
Newsom.
do it.
That's how you do it without
Yep.
throwing trans people under the bus and looking like you're, got common
I just
ground
want
with
one of
Trump and you
them-
want to move to the center. And, that's not what people want right now.
Right. And I also want them to make this comparison. Okay, you think that trans women are too strong to hold what is that called? A fencing sword? I know there's a specific name for
It's a
it.
sword.
They have an advantage there, but they can't hold a military grade rifle
Yes.
because they don't have an advantage. Come on.
I mean, Dana, I've been saying it all week. I understand. I don't agree with you, but I understand, I guess, trans people in sports issue. But, you don't want a trans person to take a bullet for you? For their country? Like, what? How? Why? On
My
what grounds?
issue is that you've got a massive community that is willing to defend this country and the Constitution and a president of the United States who's not going to do either. That's my issue. You've got a massive, I think there's 15,000 transgender troops right now. You've got Emily Schilling, who was the Commander Emily Schilling, who is the defendant in Trump versus Schilling, who has been in the military for 19 years, 60 combat missions. She's done Afghanistan and Iraq. And 19 years, and they want to strip everything from her. This draft dodger who's got bone spurs wants to take away her career. That's my issue. That's my issue.
Yeah. You said sending love and support to our transgender service members. Thank you for your continued desire to serve and protect this country. I'm so sorry this pathetic draft dodger has any say in who can defend our country and the Constitution, since he has no intention of doing either. That puts a fine point on it. Thank you.
Yeah.
So what is it? I swear I don't just save gay stack for you, but it's just
That's okay. I like gay stack. It's better than straight stack. Trust me.
Yeah.
I did a terrific joke about the Barbara Bush stamp and her getting licked, and Chris, I got no appreciation from him. I should have saved it for you.
No, Bella didn't laugh either.
I mean,
Dana.
I think it's the visual of someone licking Barbara Bush is the problem, Steph. It's the setup that we have an issue with, not the punchline.
The punchline was fine. The setup was gross.
I mean, Sophia Bush.
I always
Ashley
thought Quaker
Bush,
Oats was delicious. Didn't you want to lick the Quaker Oats guy? That's what she looked like.
No! Not once in my life have I ever thought of licking the Quaker Oats guy.
I like oatmeal. Dana, Salt Lake City. has adopted three new flags in an attempt to skirt around the state's ban on flying the LGBTQ plus flag and others at public state buildings. I want all Salt Lakers to look up at these flags and be reminded we value diversity, equity, and inclusion, leaving no doubt that we are united as a city and a people moving forward together. The mayor said in a press release earlier this year, Utah banned LGBTQ flags from being displayed in public schools or government buildings. LGBTQ advocates called it government overreach at its worst, and he said the law strips the right to support and affirm diverse communities. I mean, and plus, like, the world is literally, well, in some places literally, but is on fire. We're on fire economically, at the airports. I mean, just on. And there's these silly things, right? Like banning flags and, renaming bodies of water, right?
I don't love that they call it whatever they called it in the article, because it makes it sound like she's doing something wrong. What she's doing, she's combating bigotry in a beautiful way and finding it a way to make these flags part of the city, official city flags. And it's not just the gay flag or the trans flag. There's also a Juneteenth flag for the black community so that we can honor those things as well. And so everyone thinks that Utah as a whole is lost, and it's not. Salt Lake City especially has a massive LGBTQ community and a very diverse community. A lot of it has to be underground if you're gay, because there's still problems there with the church, but that is not a state that is lost. It's a state that is very much controlled by a church that is not following their own doctrine.
Yeah. Oh, hey there, it's Stephanie Miller. If you're like me and you love sharp political insight, pointy, you like it pointy and sharp, bold opinions, and a touch of humor to make sense of these crazy times, have I got some fantastic news for you. The Political Voices Network is now on Substack. This is your new go-to for the best in independent media. We're talking about my show streaming daily with episodes on demand, the fearless of journalism of Brian Karem, the brilliant side-splitting satire of John Fugelsang, the unrelenting working class advocacy of Rick Smith, and so much more. Here's the best part. Subscribing is so easy. You can join for free or go to the extra mile. Support these incredible independent voices by signing up for a full subscription starting at just $8. You'll get access to exclusive content, behind-the-scenes insights, and a chance to directly fuel fearless, unfiltered media. So what are you waiting for? Head on over to politicalvoicesnetwork.com, hit that subscribe button, and become part of the movement keeping truth alive in an era of corporate media overload. Every subscription helps, especially yours. One more time, that is politicalvoicesnetwork.com. Sign up now. Do it.